a brand new action rom-com with Jason Segel and Samara Weaving. But is it worth seeing in a weekend full of big releases? I'm fresh out the theater. Let's break it down. Alright, and welcome to the latest episode of What's Happening with me, Casey Foreman. Over Your Dead Body. This movie is about a dysfunctional married couple that retreats to a secluded cabin in the woods to hopefully repair their relationship, but each secretly plots to murder the other. Yeah. Now, there is more to this movie than that, which we'll break down a little bit later in this video. But I enjoyed this action comedy a lot more than I expected to. Jason Segel is great in this role, playing a somewhat washed-up Hollywood director who is now forced to only shooting commercials. And he's unhappy with his relationship with his actress wife, played by Samara Weaving, who might have officially won me over as a fan. Overall, this is a movie I'm recommending. It's really funny at times, and the action is solid. There were some moments that legit made my jaw drop. It was also just kind of nice to see Segel back on the big screen in a rom-com sort of thing. I mean, I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Over Your Dead Body is much more of an action comedy than a straight-up rom-com. But those vibes are definitely still there. And it's nothing special by any means, but the audience I watched this with was eating it up. It's been a while since I've heard that many laughs in a theater. Another thing I really enjoyed: the chemistry between our two leads. Segel and Weaving were a lot of fun, and were totally believable as this couple who kinda wants to kill each other. They kinda reminded me of those classic performances we kinda got on the regular from like 2008 through 2013. Low-key, the golden era of rom-coms. And I would say this is better than a lot of the other movies recently that have been attempting to do the exact same thing, like The Fall Guy or The Lost City. And it was mostly because of the R rating, but this movie pulls no punches with the action and gore. Some kinda gross stuff goes on here, enough to get some reactions from audiences, that's for sure. Another thing I enjoyed was how the story was told. One of those movies where you get different brief chapters kinda showing us the inspiration for each character. Some movies do that extremely well, but sometimes I think it's just a fill-in for a lack of creativity. In this case, it adds to the story, 100%. So yes, overall, I did like this movie. My rating on Over Your Dead Body is a 3.2 out of 5. Jason Segel is great, as usual, and really pairs well with Samara Weaving, who has a few moments herself. And you combine that with a really funny script, some audience-shocking scenes with that R rating, and some very solid action. And that is why you go see a movie like this. It's not going to be anyone's favorite of the year, but it'll get the job done on a Friday or Saturday night, on a date, by yourself, or hanging out with some friends. And drop a comment on what you're thinking about this movie so far. Do you think it's worth going to see, or will you wait till it hits streaming? I say it's worth going to the theater. Now let's break down that ending and what else you can expect from this movie. Some spoilers ahead. Be warned. This movie completely changes like 1/3 of the way through, maybe around the halfway mark. That's when Timothy Oliphant and his crew of escaped convicts arrive on scene. Basically, at this point in the movie, our two main characters, Segel and Weaving, go from fighting each other to working together and trying to escape this cabin alive. And the movie ends, essentially, that exact way. Our show is sponsored by Dubby Energy. Are you tired of the same old energy drinks and how they're making you feel? Then Dubby's got you covered with an extensive list of clean, safe energy drinks, and you can find a link to their inventory in the description of today's video. Go be better and get energized with Dubby. We get caught in this cat and mouse game in the remaining time left. It was entertaining, but a little repetitive. They really lean on the action and gore in this third act, almost trying to one-up what they just did until there's basically nobody left besides our two main characters. And what I loved most about this ending was how ironic and dramatically cinematic it was. As I mentioned earlier, Segel's character, a Hollywood director, And he ends up making a movie about the entire situation that just happened to them, minus the whole plans to kill each other part, with one of the funniest cameos in recent time. But you gotta go see it yourself to find out who it is. But overall, this ending was satisfying and funny enough as to where I think others will enjoy it too. And that's gonna do it for this episode of What's Happening with me, Casey Foreman. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.